Wu Zetian did something no woman in Chinese history had ever done before her. She did not rule beside an emperor. She did not rule behind an emperor. She became the emperor. And when she did, she created something that terrified the court more than her armies, more than her secret police, more than her ruthless purges. She built a male harem, not as a symbol of romance, but as a symbol of absolute control. This is the story of Wu Zetian's rise to power and the world of fear, loyalty, and politics inside her private palace. Wu Zetian was born in 624 during the Tang Dynasty. She entered the imperial palace as a teenage concubine of Emperor Taizong. In the Tang court, concubines were expected to remain silent, obedient, decorative. They were ornaments to male authority. Wu was none of those things. She was intelligent, observant, and patient. When Emperor Taizong died, tradition dictated that his childless concubines should shave their heads and become nuns for the rest of their lives. For most women, that was the end. For Wu, it was a pause. She returned to the palace under Taizong's son, Emperor Gaozong. Within years, she rose from concubine to empress. But becoming empress wasn't enough. She studied court politics, cultivated loyal officials, eliminated rivals, and positioned herself as indispensable. When Gaozong suffered strokes and grew weak, Wu stepped in to manage the empire. And she was good at it. Taxes were reorganized. The civil service examination system expanded. She promoted talented officials over aristocratic families who had dominated politics for generations. She strengthened the state. But she also built a reputation for ruthless efficiency. Rivals were accused of treason. Former allies disappeared. Members of her own family were not immune. Power in the Tang court was not stable. It was a knife fight behind silk curtains. In 690, Wu Zetian crossed a line no woman had crossed before. She declared herself emperor, not empress, emperor. She founded her own Zhou dynasty, interrupting the Tang line entirely. In Confucian ideology, the emperor was the son of heaven. Heaven's mandate was not supposed to pass to a woman. Wu rewrote the narrative. She used Buddhist prophecy to legitimize her rule, commissioning texts that described a female ruler chosen by the divine. She presented herself not as a usurper, but as destiny fulfilled. And in this new order, the rules that applied to male emperors now applied to her, including the right to a harem. For centuries, emperors maintained vast harems of women. These women were political tools, status symbols, and potential mothers of heirs. Their lives revolved around pleasing one man. Wu reversed the gaze. Inside her palace were young, handsome men selected to serve her personally. Some were musicians. Some were attendants. Some were scholars. Some were rumored to be more. The most famous among them were the Zhang brothers, Zhang Yizhi and Zhang Changzong. They were said to be strikingly attractive, refined, and skilled in courtly arts. Wu elevated them rapidly, granting them influence that shocked seasoned officials. To conservative Confucian scholars, this was scandalous. But to Wu, it was political symmetry. Male emperors had always taken what they wanted. They had always surrounded themselves with beauty and loyalty. If she was emperor, why should she be denied the same privilege? Yet this was not simply about desire. It was about control. A male harem in a female-led court was destabilizing. It disrupted centuries of gender hierarchy. It humiliated powerful aristocrats who believed women should never command men. And it sent a message. She answered to no tradition that limited her. But this inner circle also created danger. The Zhang brothers began to wield influence beyond their station. Officials feared that state decisions were being shaped inside private chambers. Rumors spread. Court factions sharpened their knives. Wu was aging. By her 70s and 80s, she was still ruling, still commanding, but vulnerability crept into perception. Her enemies waited. In 705, a coup erupted within the palace. Senior officials, claiming to protect the state, assassinated the Zhang brothers. They forced Wu to abdicate. The Tang Dynasty was restored. Wu Zetian died later that year. But here is what makes her story unforgettable. She ruled China for decades. She expanded the empire. She strengthened bureaucracy. She promoted merit over noble birth. And she dared to redefine what absolute power looked like. Her male harem was not simply a mirror of imperial tradition. It was a declaration that authority, once seized, would not be half-held. It terrified the court not because it was scandalous, but because it proved she truly believed she was emperor in every sense of the word. History has judged Wu Zetian in extremes. Some call her a monster. Others call her a reformer. Some see cruelty. Others see strategic brilliance. The truth, like most power, is complicated. She lived in a world that denied women legitimacy, so she built her own. And in doing so, she forced an empire to confront something it had never imagined, a woman who did not rule behind a throne, but from it. If you enjoy stories where history feels bigger than myth, where power reshapes society, and where one person changes the rules forever, make sure to subscribe and join the journey, because the past is never as simple as we're told. And sometimes the most dangerous thing in history is someone who refuses to stay in their place.